Hail and welcome. My name is Werman Grimraven. I am the Grand Hearthward of Woden's Earth, Kindreds of the Northern Dawn. Today, I'm going to look a little bit at Ragnarok and the Seeress' prophecy, Voluspa. Like every religion, I was saying in my last video, has got a face of God, of what they perceive God looks like. So every religion seems to have some catastrophic end of the world scenario. Now we know through the history or science has found out as it's gone along that the earth has blown up a few times and remoulded itself. For example, just the dinosaurs. There, not there, boom, gone. Okay, so we know catastrophes have happened before and they will happen again. If man doesn't blow itself to kingdom come, the earth will blow itself to kingdom come. And I don't believe that's due to global warming, that's due to the cycle that the earth is on. We may be doing stuff to speed it up, I don't know, not interested in that, so that's not what this video is really about. Many people have wrote and spoken about Ragnarok, and there's that many interpretations they've had. I mean, I've got about 6 or 7 myself. But today, when we look at some bits of Voluspa, I'm going to specifically referring to the poetic Edda of Caroline Laddington, who I believe is one of the better authors of an Edda. It's very clear, it's very easy to understand. It's one of the first Eddas I ever read, and when I first picked it up I didn't understand it that well. But the more you read it, there's some stuff in there that I think Caroline Laddington mentions that other people don't. Okay, but again, that's a different tale. So the end of the world. So the Bible has the book of Revelations for a start, doesn't it? Yeah, so straight away from the more modern religions all the way back, something changes. So it's like our gods of the northern traditions, for the want of a word, come from the chaos of the murder of their grandparents, who were Jotun or giants, as an example. So there's always some catastrophic end, and then there is like a rejuvenation and a rebirth of the earth, and the cycle starts again. But it normally ends up in blood and fury. When I talk about Voluspa, to me, it's very profound. Now, you can't take everything that you read literal, obviously, because after translation, I'm sure a lot of it's been confused, and as we know, a lot of our sources were written down after what was known as the Viking period, okay, of England at least, which is what's relevant to myself. But Voluspa, as you'll see when we do a few of the opening verses, but it's the end I'm going to concentrate on. And this is the oldest witch, the oldest magical being in existence, telling you how she came into being and what she remembers. And she's been called from the grave, as it was, or from the well of Mim, by Odin, so he can question you about the fates of men and gods. Okay, let's have a look at the opening few stanzas of Voluspa. Attention I ask from all the sacred people, greater and lesser, the offspring of Heimdall. Father of the slain, you wish that I should declare the ancient histories of men and gods, those which I remember from the first. I, born of giants, remember very clearly those who nurtured me then. I remember 9 worlds. I remember 9 giant women. the mighty measuring tree down below the earth. Young were the years when Ymir made his settlement. There was no sand, no sea, no cool waves. Earth was nowhere, nor the sky above. Chaos yawned. Grass was there nowhere. First the sons of Bur brought up the earth, the glorious ones who shaped the worlds between. The sun shone from the south on the hall of stones. Then the soil was grown over with green plants. Okay, so that's only stanzas or verses 1 to 4. Okay, and already the seeress is calling for your attention. Yeah, she's now going to tell you things that are ancient knowledge that no one else knows, and you need to prick up your ears. Okay, she tells you who she is. She tells you who nurtured her in her early days, and it was the giants, it was the Jotun, it was the elder race of gods that came before Odin, Vili, yeah, who we know come from Bur. She names Bur, obviously, Bur's sons, Odin, Vili. So these are the three names that regularly crop up in translations for the three Odinic deities that actually form the earth and obviously give life, breath and colour of skin to Askenelm. Okay. And then she also, by stanzas 4, explains how the world isn't there, the earth, but then it is, and how it's made in beauteous green. Okay, everything alive and fresh. I suggest you read Voluspa yourself, as many translations as you can find. However, I'm going to skip right along now up into stanzas 44, where we begin looking at what makes up the tale of Ragnarok. I mean, you can read stories of Ragnarok, but this is to me quite a haunting version of the events that the world would face. Okay, anyway, let's have a listen. Garm bays loudly before Nipper's cave. The rope will break and the ravener run free. Much wisdom she knows. I see further ahead to the terrible doom of the fighting gods. Brother will fight brother and be slayer. Brother and sister will violate bonds of kinship. Hard it is in the world, there is much adultery. Axe age, sword age, shields are cleft asunder, wind age, wolf age, before the world plunges headlong, no man will spare another. The sons of Mim are at play, and fate catches fire at the ancient Gala horn. Heimdall blows loudly, his horn in the air. Odin speaks with Mim's head. Yggdrasil shudders, the tree standing upright. The ancient tree groans, and the giant is loose. All are terrified on the roads to hell, before Surt's kin swallows it up. Garm bays loudly before Nipper cave. The rope will break and the ravener run free. Much wisdom she knows. I see further ahead to the terrible doom of the victorious gods. Hrym drives from the east. He has his shield before him. The great serpent writhes in giant rage. The serpent churns the waves. The eagle shrieks in anticipation. Pale-beaked he tears the corpse. Naglfar breaks loose. A ship journeys from the east. Muspel's people are coming over the waves, and Loki steers. They are a monstrous brood with all the raveners. The brother of Bylist is in company with them. What of the Aesir? What of the elves? All giant land groans. The Aesir are in council. The dwarves howl before their rocky doors, the princes of the mountain wall. Do you understand yet? or what more. Surt comes from the south with a harm of branches. The son of the slaughter gods glances from his sword. The rocky cliffs crack open and the troll women are abroad. Men tread the road to hell and the sky splits apart. Then the second grief of Frigg comes about, when Odin advances to fight against the wolf, and the bright slayer of Beli against Surt. Then the beloved of Frigg must fall. Then the great son of Warfather, Vidar, advances against the beast of slaughter. With his hand he stabs his sword into the heart of Loki's kinsman, and his father is avenged. In the air gapes the earth-girdler. The terrible jaws of the serpent yawn above. Odin's son must meet the serpent. The kin of Vidar is the death of the wolf. Then the glorious son of earth, Odin's son, advances to fight against the serpent. In his wrath the defender of earth strikes. All men must leave their homesteads. 9 steps Odin's child takes, with difficulty, from the serpent of whom scorn is never spoken. The sun turns black, the earth sinks into the sea, the bright stars vanish from the sky. Steam rises up in the conflagration, a high flame plays against heaven itself. Garm bays loudly before Nippercave. The rope will break and the ravener run free. Much wisdom she knows. I see further ahead to the terrible doom of the victory gods. She sees, coming up a second time, earth from the ocean, eternally green. The waterfall plunges, an eagle soars over it, hunting fish on the mountain. The Aesir meet on Idavol, and they converse about the mighty earth-girdler, and they remember there the great events and the ancient runes of the mighty one. Thereafter will be found in the grass the wonderful golden checkers, those which they possessed in the ancient times. Without sowing, the fields will grow. All ills will be healed. Balder will come back. Hod and Balder, the gods of slaughter, will live happily together in the sages' palaces. Do you understand yet, or what more? And Hania will choose wooden slips for prophecy, and the sons of 2 brothers will inhabit widely the windy world. Do you understand yet, or what more? The hall she sees standing, fairer than the sun, thatched with gold at Gimli. There the noble lords will live and spend their days in pleasure. Then the powerful mighty one, he who rules over everything, will come from above, to the judgment place of the gods. There comes the dark dragon flying, the shining serpent, up from dark of moon's hills. Nidog flies over the plains, in his wings he carries corpses. Now she must sink down. That's from stanzas 44 to 66 in Caroline Laddington's version of Voluspa. Again, it basically tells us the story there of how the final battle, shall we say, against good and evil, for want of words, takes place, and basically the earth is ripped apart, sinks into the sea, everything dies. But doesn't die, because the earth comes back green and fresh. Everything grows without being planted. Okay, and the gods return. Balder, who was in hell, returns safe from the war. Hod, his blind brother, whose blind arrow shot at Balder, kills the sun god in the first place. We all know these stories. It all ties back in at Ragnarok, Okay, but while they're playing with their golden checkers, the mighty one comes to the seat of the gods, and he comes in judgment. Everyone thinks that that's the Christian version of it, and that that's the Christian God coming down, but the Christian God doesn't accept all the other gods, does he? Not in the earliest forms, right? So that's Odin coming back. You can't kill a god. A god can evolve. Okay, so his sons are ruling, but he's still the one who's coming down, passing judgment on the gods. Oh, that's my reading of it. Don't know what you think. You may see something completely different when you're into Ragnarok, but I do strongly recommend Caroline Larrington's version of the Edda. No, I'm not being sponsored by her. I never heard from know the lady. I just know it's one of my favourite versions of the poetic Edda. It's really worth a read if you haven't. It might clear a few little things up that other Eddas leave you misunderstanding or unfulfilled in the reading of, shall we say. Alright, I hope you've enjoyed this. I hope you find it interesting. Take care out there, stay safe, and we'll see you all later.